Alright, today we're talking about the new Ibanez RGA models. As you can see, I'm a fan of the RGA. I've got this RGA 622XH. I noticed there's some new premium models on the Ibanez website today. There's the RGA 20P1PB, the RGA 21P1PB, and the RGA 217P1PB. Now I'm really excited today. I've been waiting for new RGA models for a minute, so let's talk about it. And by the way, this video is not sponsored by Ibanez or any other brand shown. So the models, it's going to be quicker to talk about the differences between them. You have the RGA 20P1PB, that's the Cosmic Blue Burst low gloss finish, and that has the edge floating bridge. And then you have the RGA 21P1PB and the RGA 217P1PB. Those are in Deep Twilight Burst low gloss finish. Those have the Gibraltar Standard 3 bridge, and the latter is a 7-string variant. Everything else about these guitars are the same, and they are bolt-on just like this guitar. They also have that kind of carve away on the lower horn, very cool. So let's talk about the body on them first. The body has a different back than the woods on the top. The top is composed of poplar burl, maple, walnut, curly maple, and panga panga. Wow. And the back is basswood, and I think that's pretty cool. I'm a fan of basswood. This RGA here, it is mahogany, but the RG has been typically basswood in the past, with plenty of mahogany models too. Discussing tone wood further is out of scope of this video. Then moving on to the neck of these guitars, they have the typical 5-piece, the maple, and the walnut necks. Now the neck profile of these guitars is going to be different than a guitar like this. The Prestiges, they tend to have the 17mm width at the 1st fret, and then at the 12th fret, they've got the 19mm width, according to the website. These guitars, these premiums, they have 18mm width at the 1st fret and a 20mm width at the 12th fret, again, according to the website. And then the fretboard radius on a Prestige, it would be 430 millimeters. On these guitars, it's 400. Depending on what you prefer, you might like these better than a Prestige. They do have an ebony fretboard, and also the website says they have stainless steel jumbo frets, which is awesome. I'm personally a fan of stainless steel. I get it if you're not a fan. They do feel different. For me, that's one of the selling points, and the extended durability too. Of course, they're not indestructible. But moving on to the nut, here's the first disappointment. The nut is made of plastic on the fixed bridge models. And for guitars of these price, with all these other fancy specs, you got to ask yourself, what were they thinking? If I was going to hypothetically get one of these guitars, I would replace the nut. Now moving on to the pickups, these do have the Fusion Edge pickups, and you can see I have my RG 5320, which also has the Fusion Edge pickups. And I've ultimately decided to keep these in here because they sound just fine. On their own and in full mixes, they get the job done. So it's not the end of the world that these guitars have those pickups. Maybe you're hoping for something different, maybe some DiMarzios, maybe some EMGs, some Fishmans, whatever floats your boat. But these aren't too bad. Now connected to this is a 5-way switch and an alter switch too. So the 5-way switch, it does what you think it does. Positions 1, 3, and 5 has the bridge plus middle, and neck. And then 2 and 4 are the inner and outer coils. If you turn the alter switch on though, positions 1, 2, and 3 does this kind of power tap thing according to the website. And then positions 2 and 4 will engage only the coil closer to the bridge. So on a neck pickup, it would be the coil down here, and then the bridge pickup down here, in positions 2 and 4, respectively. I don't see myself realistically using the alter switch if I was going to hypothetically buy this guitar, or one of these guitars. But it would be cool to mess around with to get something unique when I'm jamming. Now let's talk about the prices. They are much cheaper than this guitar right here, but they're not inexpensive by any means. I see for the fixed bridge 6-string model, it's $1,599 USD. And then for the 7-string fixed bridge and the 6-string floating bridge, it's $1,699 USD. I'm looking at Sweetwater for these prices. And these prices are basically made in Japan territory. It is more expensive than an RG Genesis, and it is approaching something like the RG 5121, which makes it that much more frustrating that these guitars come with a plastic nut, just my opinion. It does make you ask yourself, would you be better off with a used Prestige? Well, it depends if that used Prestige has been completely messed up or not. So overall, will I buy one of these guitars? Well, I really want to. I think the RGA is very cool. I've been wanting new models for a while now, and I think these look particularly good. I do understand looks are subjective. I have wanted a made in Japan or prestige model, but these are also good too, and they have a lot of the specs I like. If I was going to buy one of them, it would probably be the fixed bridge 6-string. I do love my 622 right here, but sometimes I don't feel like dealing with a floating bridge. Sometimes I just want a fixed bridge. But as mentioned before, that plastic nut is kind of a bummer. I do know you can lubricate the plastic nut. You can use pencil graphite or something. They make specialized stuff to put in there. And you could just replace the nut. You can cut a new one. But for a guitar this price, should you have to do that? I guess that's up to you. And hey, if you have an Ibanez guitar you already like, that's robust, it gets the job done, you enjoy playing it, it doesn't necessarily have to be made in Japan. Maybe it's a premium, maybe it's a different model. You gotta ask yourself, do you need to spend this much on a new guitar? So ultimately I'm thinking these models are cool, but if I want to play an awesome fixed bridge Ibanez, I might just use one I already have, namely this RG 5121. Of course there are differences. It does have the Fishman Fluence pickups, and it's not the arch top, it's the RG. So it's that typical super strat. You've got the flat top with the forearm carve, all that. It is worth noting that if you do want an arch top guitar, you don't have too many options. So if an RG doesn't quite do it for you, you want an Ibanez, and these guitars have all the specs you're looking for, these might be a strong choice to consider. But what do you think? Are you excited for these new RGA models? Or are the pickups, the plastic nut, or the price not worth it for you? Be sure to comment down below. Of course, this is YouTube, so go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share the video, print out every frame and mail it, join the Discord. If you're looking for something cool to listen to, I've got my music on all major streaming services like Spotify. I do a bunch of video game music covers, I do some originals, and hey, as always, peace.